I'm Dr. Kemi for Kemi Talks Media. Tonight, I'm going to launch a new brand. It's not journalism, it's not pharmacy. I'm retired from those. It's called Kemi Talks Critic PR. I have one degree left, and it's called Public Relations Management. I'm a PR person. I've done a lot of PR for big musicians. Everybody from Kendrick Lamar to Drake to Nicki Minaj, everybody. You know the history. If you don't know, just Google me with any of your famous stars and see the interviews. Okay, so with my PR degree, on the 20th of June this month, it'll be 29 years in PR. So critic PR is what? You can Google it. I'm going to be a critic. I'll give you my opinion on things, and I'm also going to be doing some PR. I'm doing PR for governments and different people on the side now, just part-time. But most of the time, I'm just like really retired. So let's talk about Priscilla Juma Jux, and Karen Bujulu. What's coming out of Tanzania is very disturbing, okay? It's really, really highly disturbing. It's a non-story. What a non-story is, when there's a story that's created by a newsmaker, and it's really not a story, then it disrupts the internet. There are a lot of non-stories like that. Some of the stories I'm using, you can't find it online. Karen's story is a non-story, and Nigerians are divided. Some people are siding with her, some are siding with Priscilla and Juma Jux. So the story is, the back end of the story is that Karen says that she's not the one that cheated on Juma Jux, and it was the other way around. Juma Jux cheated on her when they broke up in 2024, and then he met Priscilla. Now, the whole thing about meeting Priscilla in 2024, Priscilla has said her own story, how she met Juma Jux, how they fell in love and started dating and got married. She has said her story. She had like 8 weddings. Everybody saw everything, okay? Now, can we call Priscilla a home wrecker? No, because she didn't wreck her home. Juma Jux was single. He wasn't married. So you can't call a person that's going into, a relationship a home wrecker. Okay, even though we loosely use that term. But can we call her that she wrecked their relationship? No, not always, okay? I'm not a relationship expert. I've never been married. I have my own personal traumas and all that around relationships. However, if a man cheats on a woman and goes to another woman and starts seeing Priscilla, it's Priscilla's duty to actually ask the man, are you dating anybody? Do you have a girlfriend? Because you just never know when you're dating a married man. But Juma Jux wasn't married. He was single. He's the only one that knows his relationship with Karen. So if Karen said, okay, I'm not going through this anymore, let's break up, Juma did not have to tell Priscilla about the past. It's over there. So Priscilla is the new person, and they start dating, and they got married within a year. Now, this young lady had almost 8 weddings. If I was really counting well, please correct me in the comments. There is something about weddings. Remember I said I've never been married before? There is something about weddings where somebody who objects to the wedding can actually show up and stop the whole ceremony. These people had what, 4 white weddings or 3? That Karen could have come and sit in the audience or sneak there. Is there anybody that doesn't want this marriage to happen? Raise your hands or speak now. It's out there in the vows. No one came for 8 different weddings, even the traditional ones. So the non-story is Karen is making this look like it should be a story. And really what she's doing is she's trying to really flood the blogs. Karen still likes Juma Jux, okay? I'm not a psychologist, but I'm going to tell you that for her to bring the story out after their 8 weddings, which lasted, 6 months or something, is kind of really low, all right? It shows that she still loves him, all right, even though they've broken up. But love is, honestly, I'm not the right person to be talking about love because I don't have affection. You've heard my story about, my sexual assaults when I was 13. I don't know what affection is when it comes to man and woman, but it's something I can tell you that it never really goes. However, these people married almost 8 times, and she had the chance to stop that wedding. So for her to put that news out there, I want Nigerians to know, I want everybody, she's not referring to Tanzanians, she's referring to Nigerians, but she never mentioned the word Nigerians. she knows who she's, the audience is Nigerian. So she said, I want everybody to know, okay, set the record straight, Karen. You could have said this at wedding number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, but you're now saying it at the end. I am known for the truth, Karen. All right, I'm known for the truth. People don't like me in Nigeria because I tell the truth, and I tell it to their face. I don't care whose ox is gored. If I tell you your baby was a girl and not a boy, all these different things coming out, Davido this, Davido, I tell you the truth. Some of my truth is very serious, and you wouldn't believe it. Okay? So it's like anything I say in Nigeria is the truth. It might be hard to people's ears. This one was dating that one. This person died of this. I'll tell you straight up. And I'm always vindicated. Okay, a schoolboy died here, and I told Nigerians that he was not bullied, that his father was actually behind his death. 2 years later, they said the father was responsible. Never arrested, never prosecuted. So let me just tell you now, Karen, I'm not like for the truth, but the truth is that you had all this time to voice your opinion on Instagram, not after their wedding. Because now what you're doing is you're actually trying to wreck their home. Okay? Now, for Priscilla, I'll tell you, Karen, I'm not really good friends with her mother. Okay? Because her mother, Iyabo Ojo did not put me in prison. Okay? There was a case here, Ibiyomi case. Iyabo did not put me in prison. Ibiyomi locked me up. Iyabo was actually an innocent person in the case. In fact, the pastor himself was innocent. The person behind that case was Iyabo's PA, who wrote the fake letter to the journalist, and I published 1 out of 8 pages, and I still used non-affirmative word and still locked me up. Okay? At the end of it, in September of 2019, Iyabo Ojo apologized to me for what the PA did and how it caused me all this trouble. But unfortunately, after apologizing to me in 2019, which I accepted, it was over. And in 2023, when Mohbad died and I started investigating Mohbad, Iyabo brought out all these things again. She started mocking my PTSD. She started calling me names. She started posting my PTSD videos so that her fans would laugh at me and all that. And I had not written my book, and I still haven't written that book, that particular book about the prison. So I'm glad I didn't, because this would have been a woman that I forgave, and then she turned around and started with me again. So that's why I don't trust Iyabo Ojo, and I don't like her for that. Okay? However, I don't hate Iyabo Ojo. Hate is a strong word. I dislike her for what she did. And then it was after Mohbad's death that I heard that Iyabo was actually paid money by the man that tried to assassinate me, Kerebi Okuko, a late billionaire, not to come to court. I'm saying this now to let you know, okay, she's not a person I like. All right? I have nothing against her daughter, okay? She wrote a letter to my sons to tell them to ask her for medicines for your mother's brain, and I mentioned her children in the casket buying. And then she came, apologized to me in the DM, and I let it go. Okay, but Iyabo is not somebody I hate, and she's not somebody I trust, and I would never trust. But she did almost 8 weddings for her daughter with Juma. And you had this chance to speak about it, but you didn't. Okay, so don't classify me as one of those Nigerians as friends with Nollywood or friends with Iyabo. I'm not friends with nobody. I'm a retired journalist, and I'm starting this CriticPR thing. Okay, I will criticize what I like, what I hate, and what is ugly. And in this case, you're creating a frenzy on social media. Okay, and Priscilla is now in her husband's home. You remember she said something, my own story is never going to be like that. Whatever relationship you're going into, Karen, I wish you good luck into it. Okay? But once you break up with someone, it's okay to say you've broken up, but not after they got married in their new home. You now start telling the world he was the one that cheated, he was the one. You're giving Priscilla this very, very, big ideas of he will leave you too. That's what you're saying in so many words. All the newspapers in Nigeria are carrying it. All the bloggers are carrying it. Nigerians are in a frenzy on social media. Leave it alone, Karen. Okay? I don't hate you. I don't hate Priscilla. I don't hate Jux. I don't hate nobody. I mean, I dislike her mother, but at the end of the day, I don't hate anybody. I'm just telling you the truth. Leave it alone. You had all this time to stop that wedding. And if you still like him, hey, I can't tell anybody their feelings. My name is Dr. Kemi. Kemi Talks Media. Kemi Talks CriticPR. And today is the 5th of June, 2025.